Jamel with Equipco here. We're going to be chatting about Centrotherm today. In regards to Equipco, some of you may already know that we are reps throughout all of Canada. For the Centrotherm line specifically, we rep that in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. You can feel free to reach out to myself or any of my counterparts here in the other provinces with your requests, and we'll do our best to help you guys out as best as possible. With that being said, we'll dive right into it here. If you guys do have any questions, as Evan mentioned there, you can just type it into the chat box, and we'll do our best to address all of your concerns or any of your questions. All right, so for Centrotherm, it's a polypropylene venting system, ULC system 636 rated. We're going to be going through what Centrotherm is all about in terms of their company history, codes and requirements for their products, why you would use InnoFlue, which is one of their brands of product, InnoFlue Flex, their BlitzFlex air intake, and then design support, and we can go through a review at the end as well. So for Centrotherm Ecosystems was formed in April of 2009 to support the North American market, and is a member of the gas flue division of Centrotech Sustainable AG. They are a listed company that specializes in energy efficient technology for buildings, and it's represented in over 50 countries and in 4 continents. For Centrotherm manufacturing capabilities, they have rigid and flexible extrusion, injection molding capabilities, thermal forming, EPE fabrication, and custom part manufacturing. So for the ULC System 636 standards, a lot of you are probably fairly familiar with this code. The class 1 is going to be for gas fired appliances that are no more than 135 degrees Celsius. Your class 2 is going to be for temperatures of 135 Celsius or less. But you'll notice when you get into the class 2 that there's a few different classifications you can get into. There's the A, B, and the C. So for A, the maximum temperature is at 140. That's your typical PVC. And then for your CPVC, you're going to be able to go up to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And for the class 2C is polypropylene, and that's what Centrotherm is focused on, which is going to allow you to do any venting up to 230 degrees. So you're pretty much going to be focused on a lot of the CPVC business can get transferred over to polypropylene. Product's going to be lighter and more cost effective. And then as you can see from the classes here, you're getting quite a bit more margin of safety in terms of the temperature. So here, just a little bit more details on the ULC System 636 factors. For our InnoFlue, it's 0 clearance to combustions, so you can attach that directly to your appliance. Some appliances you'll be able to connect direct, some you'll have to have an adapter. For your support requirements, deflections not to exceed 1%. Vent systems must withstand 9 kilograms of impact. 9 kilogram sandbag hitting the side of it. Is it going to be able to hold up its integrity? In terms of spacing, every 78 inches on a vertical run and every 39 inches on a horizontal installation. It's got your flammability in terms of being resistant to flame spread. For your cold weather impact, it's also going to be able to handle minus 40 degrees Celsius. And then joint requirements is going to have the 100-pound pull test. Your connector rings are going to be required on your 2, 3, and 4 inch. These are your connector rings here. You see from the side, there's, some of you might have a hard time seeing this, but there's this single tab here that'll end up linking over. So for 2, 3, and 4 inch, you're going to need that on every single connection. On your commercial sizes that are 6 inch and above, 6 to 12 inch, it's not required, but they are available if you do want to provide that for the installation. And then for aging, you have a 180-day UV climate chamber. The InnoFlue Gray is UV certified. So for why InnoFlue, we've got our single wall residential, we've got single wall commercial as well. And then there's also some flex B-vent and chimney kit solutions that you can use. And then they have concentric, and then we can get into the BlitzFlex as well, and Blitz kits. So first with the single wall vents, we have for residential, there's going to be the 2, 3, and 4, and then commercial is going to be your 6 to 12 inch for diameter. And then for your section lengths, you have 1 foot lengths, 2 foot lengths, 3 foot lengths, 6 foot lengths, and then the 10-foot sections, which is really important to know with Centrotherm, because in terms of gasketed systems, pretty rare to come across a gasketed system that's going to allow you to have a 10-foot length. With the North American facility that Centrotherm has, that allows them to be able to provide that service to the North American market. I'm sure you can imagine how clunky it would be to travel 10-foot lengths from Europe. And then as well, you can also cut and deburr. So if you do have a length that needs to be slightly shorter, the cut doesn't need to be as exact as it would be if you were using CPVC. You still want to keep it as flush and plumb as possible. And then most importantly, with the gasketed systems, you do need to make sure that you're removing those burrs in the field, because if any particles of the polypropylene ends up getting inside of the gasket, that's going to compromise your system. That's your EPDM gasket. Then for your horizontal portion, the pitch needs to be at an angle of less than 1 degree or 1/4 inch per foot. Luckily, we've got some fittings to help you guys accomplish that as well. And that's what we're going to be going into here. So with our elbows, we don't actually have a 90-degree elbow. You won't be able to tell from this, but this is actually an 87-degree, meaning that the pitch is already naturally built in, which is great for the contractors in the field. Saves them a little bit of work. And then we have 45s, 30s, and 15s as well. There's going to be long sweep elbows that are available for your 2 and 3 inch, and then available in gray and black as well. For condensate and combustion, these are a few different of the product options you have. The test ports are available, test caps with a drain, horizontal drain tees. We have the ball valve siphons. Then we get into the accessories. You can see on the top right here, we have the ring that I was showing you guys previously. On the left side, you'll see the different options for bird screens. There is a metal material based, and there's also a poly based. You'll notice just below both of those, there's a support clamp. That support clamp, here's an example of one here. You'll notice when you look in the installation instructions for these that even though you can purchase these elsewhere, Centrotherm does offer them. The most important thing is to make sure that it is rubber. If you don't have any rubber protecting the metal from the polypropylene, the chafing that could happen over time from expansion and contraction could cause your system to be compromised. So you just want to make sure that you're using a clamp that's going to have rubber. And in addition, it also needs to be a full clamp. You don't want to be using any U-clamps or whatnot. You want to make sure it's a completely closed setup. You'll see on the right side there, they have an example of the spacers. I'll show you guys a sample of that a little bit later with it completely installed. Those spacers are essentially going to allow you to do your vertical runs up your chimney and make sure that the flue that you're venting out is staying fairly central. On the bottom right there, you'll have the Centrotherm. So this is the water-based lubricant here. It's not an actual glue. Being water-based, this product, you can just apply a small amount of it. You don't need a ton. You'll just take a tiny little dab like this. You'll end up placing it on a piece. I'll do an example for you guys here in a slide or two. But the nice thing with that is since it is a water base, you don't got to worry about any staining. And in addition, if you do need to do any adjustments before the final finishing work on the building is done, you can always spray the joints. The water will seep into the dried lubricant, and it'll reactivate and give you some time to a little bit of playability to reset it. And then in about an hour to 2 hours, once it starts to dry out, you'll find that it's very secure again and you won't be able to move. And for the InnoFlue solid wall terminations, we can see a few different options here. We've got M pipes, wall plates that are available, T terminations. You'll notice on the bottom there, we have the polypropylene wall termination and a very low profile wall termination. You guys have probably noticed the gooseneck style. which is also a solution that you can offer as well. But in terms of trying to offer something to maybe some houses that are a little bit more luxurious, it doesn't really look too nice to have a gooseneck system. This low profile system complements the house a lot better. In addition, you can also paint that black surface so that way it matches up closer to the aesthetics of the house. We get some positive feedback from developers from that, as the homes that they're building look a little bit more clean and a little bit more polished when you don't have as much mechanical components that are sticking out the side. So for the chimney and the B vent covers, you'll see the polypropylene is available in the 2 to 4 inch diameters, and then in 3 inch to 12 inch, there's going to be the steel or stainless steel available for you as well. So for assembly, we'll go through one here quickly just to give you an idea of how this works. So here I just have one of the standard InnoFlue systems. You'll be able to recognize from the green here that this is the standard. So this is what you're going to use for your flue gas going up to 230. You wouldn't use this for your air intake. It's going to be the Blitz that you'll use for that. So to recognize that, this is going to be your green labeled. Then you're going to take one of these clamps here. Then we'll also have an 87-degree elbow. I'm going to take the Centrotherm, take a small dab of it. Doesn't have to be very much. I'm just going to lightly place a layer all the way around. It doesn't have to be too much, just enough to make it glossy. If you do apply a considerable amount of this serum, you will find after installation that there's some flakiness on the edge of the pipe, just from the excessive amount that was used. That's not an issue. The system will still work just fine. It's just that if you do have any inspectors that are on site and they notice that, they might be questioning why that residue is there. So just a good thing to keep that in mind so that you can let them know that it's likely just a little bit too much of the serum that was used. So now that we have that lightly lubricated, we take this piece, we toss it in like, take this piece over top like this, pull that down, place this over top, slides in fairly easily, and then you just want to take that clamp on the side and you're just going to pop it over the top. You'll have to excuse me, it's going to take me a moment here. Just like so. Some people seem to question if this is with this connection just because of the way that it's styled. With the tab only being on the one side, you just need to have that one clamp coming over on this side here. The other one here is just going to be touching against the pipe. It doesn't actually hold any component there. So if you notice it's not exactly flush, that's how it's supposed to be. So no concerns there. And then after that, you pull, it's not going to come apart. And that's how you connect the joint. Hop on to the next one here. So for the built-in pitch, you can see here from this, this diagram below, on the male ends of the components must point and pitch toward the appliance to ensure free condensate flow to the drain and the appliance or the vent system. Instead of 90-degree, InnoFlue elbows will have the 87-degree to ensure the pitch is required. You can see a couple of examples there below. For your commercial venting, that's going to be your 6-inch to your 12-inch. You can do common and cascaded venting as well, condensate management, and then there's a design support. Towards the end here, I'll provide you guys with a little bit more information on that design support, as it's a very innovative service that Centrotherm provides, and I really think it's something that people in the market should really be taking advantage of. Not only does it give you guys some backing from the customer, but it's also just a very professional document that's going to help people out. So here for the cascading systems, you can see an example below. The venting provides a single exhaust flue for multiple gas appliances, reduces necessary components and space required to vent multiple appliances. Branches available in single wall diameters 3-inch to 12-inch, and feeders are available in single wall diameters for the 2-inch to the 10-inch. Here's a nice sample or a picture here for you. You can see the siphon system on the top and them being cascaded together. Also can notice the clamps and supports that are used as well. And you can see that it's both of the vents are attached right to the appliance as well. So InnoFlue for flame and smoke spread in commercial applications with a plenum. InnoFlue meets flame spread index and flame development or smoke development index of greater than 25 or less than 25, sorry, per building code requirements when wrapped with a ULC S102.2 listed material, such as you can see a few different options you have available below there. And for barriers or fire barriers, single wall polypropylene vent systems can be used in areas that require 1 or 2 hour fire ratings, ULC S115, when used with a listed passive fire protection system. Here for the InnoFlue Flex. So the Flex can be offset up to 45 degrees. You can see it's a corrugated system, so you can't have that horizontal as opposed to the solid wall that can run in a horizontal run. This Flex is going to be available in 2-inch, 3-inch, and 4-inch diameters. 3 and 4-inch Flex will come with an integrated coupler, must be installed vertical chase, easily connects to any fitting or vent length, specifically engineered or flexible, engineered for efficient installation within mason chimneys, B-vent, and gypsum chase. With this product, the other thing to keep in mind is the installation time. Not only does InnoFlue and the entire product line save you time, but I've been given some really good feedback from a contractor here in Edmonton that speaks highly of this InnoFlue Flex. Himself and one other employee are capable of doing an entire venting project in a fairly short period of time. He's actually able to rent out a boom and still keep his costs lower than some of his competitors. So definitely worthwhile for you guys to take this InnoFlue Flex into consideration for some of your projects moving forward. Here's a few different samples or examples here of the mason chimney. You can also see the B-vent and the gypsum chase, as well as some closer views of some of the important connection points. For the InnoFlue Flex components, they're engineered to facilitate quick and easy installation. You can see a couple of the accessory components here used to help. For the vertical run on the base support, that's the picture that's right in the dead center. It's one of the items we find is very important to make sure you use. It's very simple. All it is giving it to your horizontal line, has an access. You'll run up on your vertical line. Then there's just a 3/8 connector here, so you can use your base support. As opposed to trying to come up with a system on your own and trying to mount it. This is going to save you guys a lot of headache. The support bracket on the bottom right, similar concept as well. Here's an example of one here. It's just got that 3/8 hole. It's going to save you guys a lot of effort. You can use either side there to screw it into whatever studs and mounting you might have in position. For your kits and components, so you can purchase an entire kit. Helpful for the wholesalers, helpful for the contractor. Going to reduce the amount of times that you have any discrepancies with the quantities on your orders. So you can see here they're providing you with all of the essential components that you would require for doing a venting kit. And if you do need extra flex components, a lot of those are going to be more common stocked. So this here is a nice way to ensure that you have all the components that you know you're going to need when you guys are doing those runs. Those kits are going to be available. 2 and 3-inch kits have lengths of 25, 35 feet, and 50 feet. And the 4-inch kits have lengths of 25, 35, 40, and 50 feet. And they're going to come with some rigid vent lengths, adapters, elbows, and any connectors you'll have to grab that are going to be sold separately. So for these B-vent caps, this is a pretty interesting innovation that Centrotherm has, where you can see here there's a few different options for the outlets. So when you're working on your project, or if you're speccing it out and you've determined how you want to run your venting, you can see that all of these are based on the same mold. Not necessarily that your wholesaler is going to have every single one of these dimensions or configurations available. However, the mold is going to be the same for every single B-vent cap, and if you do reach out in advance, it doesn't take Centrotherm very much time to place these holes in and have a customized B-vent for whatever type of system you're trying to set up. Then you can see some of the custom terminations here as well. Then they do have the InnoFlue concentric. I do not have a sample here with me, but this is a nice compact or resistant, aesthetically appealing. Don't need to have multiple different runs. Fully welded vent lengths, quality construction, eliminates any leakage found in crimped systems. Integrated exhaust and air intake, so you got a single vented system, reducing your labor because you're not going to have to do connections on 2 different piping systems, and you can have a single roof or wall penetration. So just another interesting solution that's available for everybody in the field to save you guys some labor time and reduce the amount of extrusions we're trying to make going in through building structures. So it's got an aluminum outer, and it's going to have a polypropylene inner combined intake and exhaust into a single aesthetically pleasing system. You can see it's going to have the 2-inch and 4-inch, 3-inch and 5-inch, and then 4-inch and 6-inch. And here's just a couple more different fitting options that are available for you guys, and the terminations as well. So for the Blitz is going to be the other type of, they have it in solid wall and they're going to have it in fresh as well. So you'll see here, as I was chatting about before with the lime green label that we had. So that lime green label is going to tell you can use that on flue gas. The blue is going to be what you're going to use on the fresh air intake. So if you see baby blue, think of fresh air. This product here is not going to have the same temperature rating, but from a cost standpoint, it's fairly attractive. So definitely worth something to take into consideration. Single SKU kits, it's going to have continuous intake runs, installs in minutes. No glue, primer, or solvents necessary for the Blitz either, or any of the other InnoFlue product. So you can see there we have the flex coils that are available. There's only 2 SKUs that you really require. You got your BlitzFlex coil and your Blitz kit termination. Centrotherm tech support. So if you have capacity sizing for maximum efficiency, it's imperative for the vent length systems to be sized properly. If you provide Centrotherm's team of engineers with some basic information, they'd be happy to help you guys out. Doesn't have to be something with extremely professional. The team at Centrotherm has been very supportive of the people in the market. If you do have a piece of paper and you're able to just draw with a Sharpie or a pen or whatever you have on hand at the site to give yourself an idea of your horizontal runs and your vertical runs, they'll be able to help you out. Centrotherm aims to try to get any venting and design services back to you guys in 48 hours or less. So here's an example of the Centrotherm design layout. So you can see on the left side, there's just a simple sketch of what they're trying to accomplish. And on the right side, there's a little bit more information on what Centrotherm's vent bomb is going to provide for the customer. So then you have your layout design. So you can see here for the wholesalers as well, this is a really attractive feature that Centrotherm offers. If the product's not currently in stock and it needs to be special ordered, Centrotherm is essentially going to provide the wholesaler with a product list. It's going to provide the wholesaler with their price. So it's going to be a lot easier for them to upload all this information for any commercial projects on components that are not going to typically be skewed at the branch. Just trying to help out the wholesalers to offer a little bit of something on their end that'll save them time and hopefully help out the customer as well. Then on this portion of the layout, I find is really helpful for the people in the field. You can see that not only does it have the entire system design. It's also telling you which components you're going to need and where. So if you do have somebody that is perhaps not as experienced in the field, you can essentially provide them with a copy of this as the supervisor on site and let them know that this is what you want to have installed. They'll be able to know exactly what parts to install, since every single Centrotherm product fitting has the SKU on, labeled on the barcode. It's going to be sort of not quite to the point where you would say that it's dummy proof, but I would say that they're doing quite a bit to make sure that they're providing everybody with support, so that you don't have to do any more work than necessary. And once again here, this is the same design layout, and they're showing it in order of installation. So very helpful for the guys in the field. And the description of the product as well, since I know some of the SKUs there can be a little bit hard to decipher. As well, this is a very useful source or resource for you as well. You can see on the top there, Evan has provided the link for the Centrotherm site. I would encourage you to use that link whenever you're trying to find out what appliances it can be used on. Centrotherm is constantly updating this site. So 1 month, an appliance that you might favor to use may not be on there. 3 months later, they may very well have the approval. So definitely something to check into. And if you have a certain appliance you like working with that you don't notice on here, feel free to reach out to myself or any of my colleagues, and we'd be happy to dive into that for you and see if there's a solution that we can provide. All right, so we've got the test here, but I'll just pop out and see if we've got any questions here that I've missed. And see that no outstanding questions there. So what I'll do is I'll start up with the Centrotherm quiz. If you've had a chance to go through it, you can feel free to answer any questions, and I'll try to go through it. I'll try to go through it at a pace so that everybody has a chance to answer any questions they might during the process. If you guys want to hop on there, you should be able to access the poll there that has been sent to you. If anybody's having any challenges accessing that poll that Evan has uploaded, let me know. And I'll get started. So for the first question, ULC System 636 class has the highest temperature rating. A Class 2A, B Class 2B, or C Class 2C. If anybody has the answer, you can feel free to place it in the answer box as well. For question number 2, what is the certified operating temperature of all InnoFlue product or vent products? Actually, you know what I'll do here, guys, just to try to keep everybody engaged, is I'll stick with this first question here. If everybody would like, or if somebody would like to try and answer it in the chat, we'll end up verifying the correct answer as we go, just to make sure that everybody has the correct information. You check in the chat there as well. If anybody's having a hard time opening up the poll, Evan's placed one in there as well. So for the answer there, I see Kevin. Kevin has listed 11C. That would be the correct one. So class 2A is PVC. So I believe that was roughly 60 degrees. Class 2B was the PVC, or sorry, the CPVC, which is up to, I believe, around 160. And then class 2C is the polypropylene, which is going to be 230. So correct answer there with Kevin. Appreciate your feedback. We'll move on to number 2. What is the certified operating temperature on all InnoFlue venting product? I think I just kind of gave you guys the answer there. Is it 149, 230, or 329? Perfect. We got a couple answers there at 230. That's right. So yeah, the answer is 230. So you are going to be getting that that extra temperature allowance when you use the polypropylene material. Oh, I just jumped ahead there a bit. So for 3, which of the following manufacturing processes occurs at the CES factory? Correct. I see San's got an answer there for us. Perfect. Yeah, all of the above there. So that's the one great thing with Centrotherm having their facility now in North America, is they're able to not only offer, but be able to get all these things processed in North America and get out any custom projects to customers within our region. So for number 4, which of the following is not a ULC System 636 required test? Flammability, cold water resistance, chlorine leaching, and clearance to combustibles. I see Omid's got number 4, what's this for? But chlorine leaching is correct on number 4. Oh, I see what you're doing there. Yeah, question number 4, chlorine leaching, that is correct. Thank you, Omid, there for your feedback. We'll hop onto the next page here. Number 5, when is glue required when using InnoFlue? In commercial applications, on vertical runs, and never. Thank you, Kevin, for your feedback. So yes, you never need to use any glue on InnoFlue product. Just need to use either water in order to get your seal, or use the Centrotherm. Well, you can use water just to get it lubricated. I do highly recommend this, guys. Not a very expensive product, and the fact that it can reactivate, it's going to save people a lot of trouble. So no glue necessary, but the Seren's definitely going to help you out. For number 6, when running InnoFlue in a chase, what is the clearance to combustible? 0 clearance to combustible, 1/4 inch clearance to combustible, or 1 inch clearance to combustible? Omid with A for 0 clearance to combustible, that is correct. So yeah, you can have this connected directly to the appliance. Some appliances you're going to find actually are going to come with an adapter for Centrotherm's InnoFlue, and so you can essentially just take a piece of pipe and connect it right to your appliance, quick and easy. So for our next question here, number 7, what is the maximum diameter of InnoFlue single wall vents? 8 inch, 10 inch, or 12 inch? We got any more guesses, guys and girls? So I've got a few different responses here, but we haven't got the correct answer yet. I'll give this one here to you guys. The correct answer is 12 inches. So you can use Centrotherm's InnoFlue is going to be available from 2 inches all the way up to 12 inches for the time being. Hopefully in the future, we may be able to even offer you guys some larger diameters as well. So for the InnoFlue Flex, number 8, it's designed for use with A, masonry chimneys, B, B-vent or L-vent, or C, gypsum chase, And D, all of the above. I see Michelle has given us a response back, all of the above, as well as Omid and Hassan. Yes, that's correct across the board there. Thank you guys for your feedback. Let's hop on to number 9. Can InnoFlue Flex be used to exhaust in a horizontal run, assuming proper support? Yes or no? So this one here, it's going to be a no. This one's tricked me the first couple times I did it as well. So for this one, it's referring to the InnoFlue Flex. That Flex is the corrugated product. That's this product here. So with those ribs, you don't want to have any condensate happening. So that's why it always has to be at a 45-degree angle or straight up. So for number 9, the answer is going to be no. No, InnoFlue Flex cannot be used for running horizontal runs. So for number 10 here, for the connector rings, are they required on residential 2 to 5 inch? Yes or true or false? Glenn and Brian, both with true. Appreciate your guys' feedback. That is correct. So those connector rings are necessary for the residential diameters. That's going to be your 2-inch to 5-inch diameter. If you do the commercial sizes, it's not required. But if you do like to have that connector ring, they are available. A lot of that is going to be at the discretion of your regional inspectors. So just know that if your inspectors decide that they want that in whatever market you're in, we do have them available for you as well. Just that the code only requires you to have them on 2 to 5 inch. I believe someone here is asking for some feedback on number 3. So for number 3, that'll be all of the above there. If anybody else has missed any of the answers, feel free to put them in the box. We'll make sure you guys get that feedback. We want to make sure that you guys have all of the accurate information. In addition, once this test is submitted, we will get a certification. It's going to give you guys a little card to say that you've done your Centrotherm training, that you're well equipped to handle the product. And if you guys do have any questions, oh, I see we've got a question in regards to number 6. So when running InnoFlue in a chase, what is its clearance to combustibles? Your clearance to combustibles is going to be 0. All right, well, hang on here for a few minutes in case anybody has some questions. Oh, I see Austin there asked what's included in the BlitzFlex kit. So the BlitzFlex kit is essentially just going to be your termination. It'll typically have a spacer and a clamp, as well as a serum in there as well. And then there'll usually be a set flex length that you can purchase in boxes as well. If you would like, feel free to send a message to us if you guys would like a copy of this as well. We can provide you guys with this document in case you need to reference in the future. I'll check and see if there's any other questions in our Q&A panel. I see there was asking some people for some feedback on number 1 and number 2. So I will go back to question number 1 and number 2, and then I see we've got another question that just popped up as well. Okay, here. So question number one, that temperature rating is going to be class 2C or class 2C. And then you'll see that on number 2, that's going to be the 230 degrees Fahrenheit. So class 2B means that you're going to be able to handle up to 230 degrees Fahrenheit. Just check back here for that other question that I noticed. Sean's asking in regards to duct tape, Gorilla Tape, or anything that would eat away at the piping over time. So Sean, in regards to anything eating at the piping, the biggest concern is always to make sure that there's just no metal touching it. As long as whatever it is you're applying onto it doesn't have sharp extrusive edges that would impede it. Anything in terms of an adhesive or a tape shouldn't be any issue. Yeah, and Hassan, we'll get you a copy of that as well. Not sure if anybody else has any more questions, but I see some of you are seem to be finished up. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us for this today. I know that there's only so much we can get done in a day, but we really do appreciate you guys taking the time to learn a little bit more about Centrotherm and the InnoFlue product line. We really think that it's a great product offering that you guys can bring to the market. In the event of everything that's going on right now, I'm sure a lot of contractors, a lot of project managers are going to be looking for opportunities to save costs. This is going to be a great product that you guys can bring to the market that not only is going to be an attractive price at the front end, but in addition, you're going to also be saving price on your installation time. And then in addition to that, it's also going to have a higher temperature rating. So in terms of safety, you are bringing a product to the market that is got a very good reputation in Europe. And I really think there's a lot of potential for that out here. As we mentioned, we are repping in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. If you go on our website, there's also links so that you can get in touch to our general contacts, orders desk, and any other links. Feel free to message myself as well. Even if you're not in my territory, I'll be sure to get you in touch with my good friends that are in the other provinces. I see we do have another question here. Evan did respond there for Dave. So yeah, just in terms of the process there, guys, just to clear up on the venting, as long as your project's at least a couple of weeks out, all you got to do is you can either provide a list of the 636 material and we can swap it over. For who's selling the product in Ontario, that is also going to be Equipco there, Amit. We do have, I believe, all of your information. So we will be sending out a response to you guys with your certificates, and we'll make sure that for the location that you are in, that you do have the contact for your local representative. But in terms of just the process for you guys for the design service and for the product list, you can either provide us with your CPVC list and we can flip it over. Or in addition, if you do have enough time, we can provide you with that vent bomb as well. Usually only takes about 2 days there, but if you do have any time crunches that you're concerned about, feel free to reach out to me or any of my teammates there, and we'll do our best to get that sorted for you guys as quick as possible. I'm just going to check on that Q&A and make sure we don't have any other questions. Thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have a nice afternoon.